In this video, we're going to show you how to successfully set up the Knack WebMerge integration so that you can automatically create your documents just by clicking a button right inside your Knack app. We've broken down this task into 4 easy steps. The first step will assume that you've set up your Knack app and workflow. The second step will be to set up the document template in WebMerge. The third step will be to gather some data in Knack, your scene, view, and field data that you'd like to send over to WebMerge and put into your document. And your fourth and final step will be to set up a custom button and integration that will use a little bit of pre-written JavaScript for today. You won't need to be a coder or do anything like this. We'll just copy and add a few pieces of data today, so don't be intimidated by that. So let's get to it. The first step will assume you do have your Knack application built for today. So we'll move along to the second step, which will be to set up the document template in WebMerge. So what we'll need to do first is sign into your WebMerge account, come to our documents view here, and then we're going to click New Document. WebMerge is going to ask you what you'd like to name your document. So we'll call this one Invoice, and then click Next. WebMerge will then ask you where you would like to build or upload your template, document template. We have 3 main options here: build your own, fillable PDF, and Office document. Build your own is just a WYSIWYG editor that's right here within WebMerge. That's going to have an open interface so you can build your documents right here online. If you have a fillable PDF, maybe a tax form or a governmental form, you can make the upload here. What you'll need to do is just use a PDF editor like Nitro or Adobe, or there's several others in the market. Open up your template here, such as a W9. Access your forms, highlight your fields, and then you're going to be able to add names, values here in the properties section of each of the fillable spaces. So we'll just give this a name like we did here. Name, just make sure there's no spaces or special characters other than an underscore, and then save. And you'll do the same for any checkboxes or radio buttons you have in here as well. You'll save to your computer, and then you're just going to simply upload via the Choose File button here. Very similarly, if you have a template built in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, you're going to put in our merge fields within the template. They have a little bit different syntax here. They start with a squiggly bracket and then a $sign, and then you'll name it whatever you'd like, and then you'll close with a squiggly bracket. Same rules as before. No spaces here in the name and no special characters other than underscore. As long as you follow this, everything will work just fine. You'll save that to your computer, and once again, you're going to upload via the Choose File button here, and our software will do the rest from there. We do have a button here for example templates. If you're a startup business or you'd like to look at some other options for your documents, these are just boilerplate document templates that you can open up and make your changes from there. So you'll make your choice where you want to build or upload, make your uploads, and then hit Create Document. We'll pop down here into one that I have already created to show you the next steps. Once you open up, you'll see these gray workflow tabs up here. We're simply going to work from left to right here, setting up this workflow within WebMerge. Once this is built, you won't need to come back here and do this. It's a set it and forget it, and we'll connect it over to Knack, and you'll automatically trigger the production of this document each time. If you need to make changes, you'll come back in here. Otherwise, you won't need to come back into your WebMerge account. Your overview tab here is just going to show you how many merges you've had in the last 30 days or all time, and it'll have your individual deliveries down here as well. We also have the ability of turning on debug mode, which will allow us to store data here on a merge for 24 hours. So if we need to access data, which we will to set up this integration, we can access the data and see what it's called. It's being sent over from Knack. Our next tab is going to be where we chose to build or upload our template. This one happens to be our document builder here. We have all of our toolbars up top here. So if we need to add pictures or a table, all these functionalities are right here. You'll notice that the merge fields look just like they did in the Office documents: squiggly bracket, $sign, and in with a bracket. You'll just follow this syntax throughout your document wherever you want to merge in your data, all the way down through the bottom. Once we have this set up, we'll save our document, and then we'll come over here to Settings. In Settings, we're going to choose where we want to output the doc, or what type of document we want to output. If we want a PDF, Word, Excel, HTML, email, or JPEG, you'll make your choice here. If you do need a PowerPoint, output, you'll need to build your template in PowerPoint for us to have that capability. You'll then choose your page size down here, as well as portrait or landscape. Then you'll choose your file name. WebMerge is going to give you all the different merge fields regurgitated here in a list, and you'll choose which one of these that you'd like to name the document by, or you can click Other and type in multiple different merge fields here. So when you try to find this document here in a month or later, you can find it by a company name, person's name, and so on. While setting up the Knack integration here, we'll need to make sure that we take a look at the status bar down here. Let's switch things into test mode. This means it won't count towards your monthly limit. And we can also save merge data for debugging. So when we set this up, we can see what the field names are called that are being sent over to us. Once we have this set up, we'll save settings, and then we'll move along to our Deliver tab here. We have about 20 different delivery methods here within WebMerge as far as where your document can be sent. They're broken down by category. We have very popular CRMs where we can deliver documents right back to a module or a record where you created the document, including Knack. We also can store documents in popular cloud storage options here. You'll need to have an account. It'll be a one-time username, password authentication. We'll pull in your folders. You tell us which folder you want to save the document in, and at the click of a button, not only is the document created, it's stored in the right place in the right folder for you, and it's named. If you need to get an e-signature on a contract, you can do that with WebMerge as well, automatically. You'll choose which one of these 8 e-sig companies that you'd like to go with. It's a one-time username, password authentication. We'll pull in all the data from Knack, and we'll send the document over to your e-sig platform automatically with invitations to your signees. They'll come in, they'll sign, and then you'll receive a copy of the signed contract once everyone's signed. Casemail and Lob are both hard mail automation companies. What happens is we'll send the document to them with the mailing credentials that we receive from Knack, and they will print, stuff the envelope, stamp, address, and place in the mail, and your client receives a hard copy of the document. Our last section of deliveries here, our most popular here is going to be your email. Sending a document as an attachment is our most popular delivery option. Lots of options here as far as to, from. We can pull in those email addresses from Knack. You can customize the subject and the body of the email, as well as delay delivery or even CC and BCC. We can send out a webhook. We can send out FTP. We also can print your document anywhere on the planet to a printer that has Wi-Fi here through Google Cloud Print. So you'll make your selections, and you can make multiple selections as well, and you'll come in here and edit your deliveries from there. Our next and last step is going to be to set up the integration with Knack. And this is where it gets a little bit technical. I do want to point out that WebMerge will create a merge URL, just an endpoint where data is going to be sent to from Knack. So we'll copy this, and we're going to put this over into a webhook that we're going to build inside of Knack. The other thing we'll need to do is make sure that we click our help button here. This is a whole library of help articles, and we'll type in Knack. We're going to search for a how-to article here. We have some pre-written JavaScript that we're just going to copy and place. No need to be able to code to do any of this. We'll scroll down to this section down here, and we're going to copy all of this text here, and we'll paste this into our JavaScript builder in Knack. So then we'll come over to Knack. We already have our app built, and we're going to click this little settings button here and come down to API and code. Up top here, we've got API, JavaScript, and CSS. We're going to hit JavaScript, and then you can see I've already pasted this in place, but you're going to paste exactly what we copied from our support article right in here. We will need to make some changes to this. I'll point these out. We're going to need to grab the scene and the view from the page within your Knack application where you want to put a nice WebMerge button that you're going to click to create your documents. So you can see I have scene 8 on my page as well as view 12. And we're going to show you where we're going to find this data at. We're also going to show you where we're going to find the specific data fields that are going to be sent over two WebMerge that are going to go into your document. We'll need to find these field names. So field underscore 34, field underscore 18. These are for my example here. How we're going to do that, we'll come back over to Pages, and then we're going to go to View Live App. And this is my application. It'll be a little bit different for how you want to set yours up, but for mine, I want to be able to create a document from the order details page. And you can see I've already built this little send to WebMerge button here. But how we get the information, the scene, the view, and the field data is we're going to right click and we're going to go down to inspect this page, and you'll be able to gather this data right here. So sometimes it takes a little bit of looking through here, but we can see down here it's scene 8 and view 12. That's where I gathered that information from before. And then we also see our specific data. So Jerry Smith order's name is field underscore 18. ABC Company, the account is field underscore 28. Address is field underscore 33, and so on. You'll be able to find this information. We're going to either write this down or copy and paste. We'll come back over into where we were building our JavaScript, and you're just going to put these numbers in place. So we'll change the scene number to 8 for my example. Yours would be different potentially. And then change your view to 12. We also have another view down here. We'll need to change this to your number as well. Then we'll scroll down here to the section where we have data. We'll need to make sure that we follow the syntax that we have in these examples, but your numbers may be different on the data fields that are being sent over. So just make sure that the number here gets changed to the exact field that you found there when we inspected the page where you want to create the button. Make sure that's all correct, and then it's matched up over here to the name of the data, the merge field that's within WebMerge. You won't need brackets around this, just use the exact merge field name that you have in place, and that will work just fine. Once you get this put in place, then you're going to save code, and then you'll go back over to your page that you'd like to have the send to WebMerge button, and you'll see this is in place. So we'll run a test. We'll hit send to WebMerge. We can see that the contract was just created. If you have data like address equals 123 Main Street, Indianapolis, Indiana 46202, you're going to have sub data that you'll need to gather back here. So let's come back into our WebMerge account. And we'll go to this overview tab. And we're going to be able to grab our data here. So you can see that we just sent this over. We'll view data. You can see everything came over just fine, except for our account information since it was a drop down. So we'll have to grab our specific data. This is the merge field that we need to call this. So we'll copy this, and then we'll put this in our template where we need to have the company name. We'll do the same thing here underneath address. Since we had multiple different pieces of data, we had zip, we had state, we had city, and we had street address. So we just click on the button. We'll make sure that our merge field in our template is address.street, city is address.city, state is address.state, and so on. We'll copy each of these, and we'll go back into where we built our document template, whether it's a builder or someplace else, and we'll match these up. You can see that I took that piece of data that was received from Knack and put this in place for the account name, address, the street address, city, state, and zip. So when we receive that data, it gets put into the correct spot in the document. Once this is all set up, then everything will work just fine for you. And that is exactly how you build the Knack WebMerge integration and get everything to work just fine. If you have any questions, reach out to our support team at support@webmerge.me. Thanks for your time.